Hello, this is Professor Shannon Hunt. We had the opportunity earlier this week to host a webinar about psychological safety in the online classroom. A lot of you were in attendance and we got to meet with colleagues from all over the country. It was great. Part of the feedback that we're receiving during the webinar and then afterwards too is we love this content. We'd like a few more practical examples as to how to apply the 4 types of safety in our online classroom. So this is a 5-minute excerpt of a little video here to give a few more practical examples as to how to apply a learner safety in your online classroom. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you. Bear with me just a second here. Right now on the screen, you are seeing the Miro board that we shared within our webinar. Some of you were not able to attend the webinar, so go ahead and check this out here and just see some of the things that we talked about for learner safety. I'm going to read you that definition. It's right here one more time, just to remind you what specifically learner safety is about. So learner safety, according to Leader Factor, satisfies that basic human need to learn and grow. It allows us to feel safe as we engage all aspects of the learning process, asking questions, giving and receiving feedback, experimenting, and even making mistakes, right? So we all make mistakes, and it says right here, not if, but when we make them. So we want to actually welcome mistakes, welcome those questions, welcome the risks that our students will be making, and then support them through that, right? So I like to say that mistakes are simply a springboard for growth, right? So how do we create an environment and a culture within our classroom where students feel safe to ask the questions to the professor, to take risks, to be themselves in a discussion forum where maybe they stand alone on a subject and everyone else has a different viewpoint, but they feel safe enough in that environment to be able to stand alone and have different perspectives? How can we create an environment where a student feels safe to ask a professor about the feedback and maybe even disagree with a grade? We want to create, again, this culture within our online classroom where our students know that we are for them and not against them. We actually want the professor to be the biggest supporter of each individual student, okay? So again, creating a classroom where all the students feel safe and welcome and uplifted. And again, we want the professor to create opportunities to know the student. So the student knows that your professor is for you and not against you. So how can you do that here? We talked about some things in the design of the class in the webinar, but I want to touch on a few more opportunities because I know that every university has a different process when designing classes. Some of you have a lot of freedom of crafting a class, designing the curriculum where you can input opportunities to know your students, okay? But a lot of universities also have standardized classrooms and curriculum, so you don't have as much opportunity to move and shift things around in your time with your students. Here's a couple of things that you can do, okay? So one thing you can do is create an optional discussion for your students on the topic of your class, okay? Let me give you an example. I teach a class on crisis intervention. I am on a crisis response team with the fire department. I have quite a bit of knowledge and expertise in this particular area. So what I do is I offer 2 different times throughout the 8-week class where students can meet with me via video conference and other students, whoever wants to come can come. And we just chat about the field of crisis and intervention, what it's like to be a professional in this field, what type of theories we use, what type of skills we use. I invite all of their questions and I let them know, hey, anytime you have questions, please don't hesitate, reach out. I'm happy to help, okay? So I'm creating an opportunity for them to have face-to-face time via video conference with me, but also the other students in the classroom. But it's optional, it's not required. But the feedback I hear from students is whenever they have the opportunity to talk with their professor, either one-on-one on the phone or a video conference or in a small group setting, it really helps because in an online environment, they feel that disconnect, right, between the professor and them because we are all virtual. So we want to close that gap and create opportunities for our students to know us and us to know them more than their assignments. We want them to know we care about you more than just what you submit. And we are for you and we support you, okay? Another opportunity, let's look at our discussion. Most online universities have discussion, right? Our format is a written discussion weekly, okay? Sometimes I, again, create a new opportunity for students. So 1 or 2 times during the session, they can have an optional live discussion on the same topic that we have in the written discussion. Now they'll earn a grade either on the live discussion or the written discussion that week. They do not have to do both. They get to choose. But again, it's this opportunity to be face-to-face via video conference with our students and discuss the topic in the classroom, okay? So for those online universities where there's not a lot of face-to-face with their colleagues or classmates in the online classroom or with their professor, we want to create those opportunities. I'm going to give you one last idea because I don't want to go too long here. Another thing that you can do, again, you want to get to know the student. The relationship between the professor and the student is very important in terms of learner safety, okay? Again, we want to show them that we are their number one supporters. We want them to succeed in how they define success. So another thing I do to kind of build that rapport with my students is midway through the session. Again, we have 8 weeks within our session. I will send a message to our students. It goes through Moodle, but it goes to everyone individually. And there's a couple different ways you can do this. We are a Christian university, so I will send out something to students and it says, hey, just want to check in to see how you're doing and see if there's anything I can be praying about for you. I do realize that a lot of universities don't have that type of freedom. There are other ways you can do that too. Another thing that I will do is I'll send a message to all students. It goes to them individually and I'll ask them, okay, I'm just checking in to see how you're doing. Wanted to see if there's any questions I can answer for you regarding course assignments, content in the class, anything about the field, future career. Please don't hesitate to reach out to me if you have any questions. I can respond via email, but I also can set up a time to meet with you either on the phone or virtually through a video conference as well. I'm happy to help. I always end with, I'm happy to help. So those are just a few ways that you can build an opportunity for students to get to know you and for you to know them. And that helps to build that learner safety where they feel like it's okay to ask questions. It's okay to take risks. My professor will support me even if they disagree with where I'm coming from. I still feel supported in this class. So those are my tips for today. Don't forget to look over at leader behavior. That's absolutely critical as well, and some of the benefits. So check out your Miro again. Thank you so much. I'm going to stop sharing here. Just a second. Thank you again so much for taking the time to view this and for attending the webinar. If you haven't checked it out yet, I believe that you'll be able to do that too. I think there's a recording for it. So thank you again and have a great day.